Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video. We're going to be doing the worst to best ranking for all the mid-season premieres from The Walking Dead. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another review today, this one's going to be doing another review for The Walking Dead, and in today's video we're going to be doing another ranking video for Friday for the end of the week. Figured we'd do another one of these before closing out the week for Walking Dead content. Next week we're going to go ahead and do the ranking for the best to worst penultimate episodes of The Walking Dead. You can expect that next week, but for the end of this week we're going to do worst to best mid-season premieres from The Walking Dead. So, there are 12 mid-season premieres that I have counted for The Walking Dead franchise because, or at least the main Walking Dead show, because season 10 and season 11 were extended and both had two different mid-season premieres, and season 1 did not have one. So total there's 12 mid-season premieres. I would love to obviously hear in the comment section below what are your favorites and least favorite mid-season premieres from The Walking Dead. But without further ado, let's get right into this. Starting off with number 12, we are going to get started with The Walking Dead season 5 episode 9, What Happened and What's Going On. So this is definitely my least favorite mid-season premiere. It's depressing. I mean, it is depressing. And not even in a good way either. I don't like the placing of this episode at all. We had just previously lost Beth in the episode before, and you return months later and kill Tyrese and have a hallucination episode for the most of it. It just felt very odd. It felt very just left field, and it didn't really blend in well. I enjoy the governor cameo and some of the other cameos kind of throughout, but I just don't feel like this episode worked barely at all for me, to be honest. I just felt odd, and it was a very weird first episode back from like a break. Number 11 is then going to be season 10 episode 9, Squeeze. Now this episode aggravates the hell out of me. This episode frustrates me so much because they took a concept that I actually really enjoy, which is trapped in a cave trying to escape, right? It's a cool idea. And instead you've got bad lighting, you can't see anything of what you're watching, and Carol is acting like an absolute idiot. I'm sorry, and I know I may offend some Carol fans on that one, but she almost damn near got Connie and Magna killed. In addition, she was messing around with the explosives. She was doing irrational decisions basically all the way throughout, promising Daryl that she would keep her cool, and then she never did. And in addition, we also had the whispers in this episode with Negan, where Negan ends up having sex with Alpha, and oh my god, it was disgusting. Apparently keeping the mask on is like better for Negan or something. It was just so weird, and I did not understand anything of what, I don't understand the point that they were trying to get across with that episode, is I guess what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't go well. And this episode, you can't see nothing, and when you do see stuff, you don't want to see it, so that's kind of the problem with this one. Number 10 is then going to be season 8 episode 9, Honor. Now this is one of the it's probably the most offensively bad thing Walking Dead ever did, which is killing Carl in the manner that they did. Now it is better than the previous two on this list, because although I'm not a big fan of this episode, at the same time, I will say I enjoy Morgan and Carol versus Gavin and those saviors. That plot I thought was really good back at the Kingdom. But everything going on with Carl and his slow death and the scenes with him, I just remember sitting there being like, this shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening, And it happened, And it didn't really work. I don't think the episode worked all that well. Like I said, there were some scenes with Morgan that were pretty good, but that's about all I got. It was definitely more of a fail than it was a success, for sure. Coming in at number 9 is then going to be season 3 episode 9, The Suicide King. So this is a pretty decent mid-season premiere. I don't love it or anything. I think it's just a okay, kind of aftermath episode. You get Daryl basically in this one that kind of leaves the group and goes off with Merle, which is kind of like a mini arc that we get in season 3 with them two kind of on their own. Which was pretty good. And you get Rick, who's hallucinating Lori in this episode again, which is, kind of redundant, but it's there. You get some decent action throughout, but it very much felt like an aftermath episode to episode 8, and I don't feel like it was all that eventful for a mid-season premiere, but it was okay. It had some scenes in it that were pretty good. Number 8 is then going to be season 4 episode 9, After. So this is a pretty good episode as well. I don't love this one either. I think this one is just, painfully average. You only get 3 characters in this episode. You only get Rick, Carl, and Michonne. which the Michonne scenes I would say are really good. Carl really annoyed me in this episode, and not in a good way, to be honest. I found him to be kind of just irritating to watch. Saying that he'd be fine if Rick died and he can handle himself, and Rick screwed up and he did it. Just, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite episode, but it was decent. It was a decent episode, I would say. It had some, redeeming factors to it. Number 7 is then going to be season 7, episode 9, Rockin' the Road. Now, this is a pretty darn awesome episode. This is when we start getting into the ones that I really do like. I think this was a good one. You had the scene on the highway with the explosives. They like plow through those walkers, which is really cool. And you also had Ezekiel. Unfortunately, he did not join the fight with Rick's group to take down the Saviors, but it was cool to see those groups meet for sure. And you had the stuff with Gabriel too, and the introduction to the Junkyard group. I thought it was a pretty intriguing episode, and this one actually worked very well, I would say, as a mid-season premiere. It was pretty darn good. And I think overall it was a well-done episode. Number 6 is then going to be season 2, episode 8, Nebraska. This was an awesome episode. This episode, basically, you have the aftermath of what goes down with Shane and the barn and Sophia, and you also get introduced to Dave and Tony in the bar, which I thought was really good, as Rick has his 2 first kills of the series, which were pretty badass. I mean, he shoots one, shoots another, just like that, and I thought it was really well executed. This was a really, really cool episode. And we had a lot of really cool action. This was one of them episodes that I remember kind of sitting there and just being like, okay, like Rick is amazing, And yeah, it was a really cool episode. It was a cool return, and it was slow at times, but then when you get to some of the stuff with Dave and Tony, I think it really did well. So yeah, definitely a really awesome episode there. Coming in at number 5 now, we're in the top 5. Number 5 is going to be season 11, episode 17, which is Lockdown. So this is a pretty awesome episode. I really like this episode a lot. This is basically the episode where we get to see our characters. They are trying to kind of help everybody that's inside of the Commonwealth, and you've got a really, really cool chase scene and a really cool kind of car chase scene at the beginning with Lance's crew versus Daryl and Negan, which I thought was really cool. And in addition, you also get Carol in this episode that kind of works with Negan to try to kind of, find Sebastian and try to make a deal with Pamela. And you also have Mercer and Rosita that fend off a horde. So you do get a good amount of stuff going on in this episode. I love the cliffhanger too, when Daryl has like the knife at Lance's throat. I mean, that was just so good. This is definitely one of my favorite episodes of season 11. It's a really eventful one. It's a really exciting episode, and I thought it was a cool return for Walking Dead for the final half. Coming in at number 4 is then going to be season 9, episode 9, Adaptation. Now, this episode right here, criminally underrated. Criminally underrated. I love this episode. You get the introduction to Lydia. You get the scene on the bridge, which was amazing. You get Negan reliving his past life and seeing, the destruction of the sanctuary and how abandoned it is now, and how his way didn't work and him kind of, coming to terms with that. His bond with Judith was amazing. The callbacks to 701 with Negan like on his knees and stuff was incredible. And we had the introduction to Alpha, and we had so much. I mean, this was a really jam-packed first episode for the second half of season 9. Definitely one of the standout mid-season premieres for me, at least. I thought it was really, really good. So yeah, and like I said, it's a good introduction too for the Whispers as well. We introduced them as a very scary group of villains, and I think that's why this episode works so well for sure. Coming in at number 3 is then going to be season 10, episode 17, Home Sweet Home. This is a very underrated episode. I hear people all the time that say that this is a bad episode, that the bonus content is only good with Here's Negan. And I love Here's Negan, and I actually am a big fan of One More as well. But this episode, yeah, I don't understand the hate. You had a great introduction to the Reapers. Yes, I'm going to say that. The Reapers had a really cool introduction. And, here's the thing. The Reapers group probably, I could say, is one of the most disappointing things of the show. But their introduction in this episode, absolutely amazing. I love the horror elements of this episode. In addition, we also get to catch up with Maggie in this episode. We get to find out where she's been a little bit. And we get some awesome Negan and Maggie back and forth, too. At the beginning, at the end, and we get to see little Herschel in this episode. I mean, yeah, this episode, it didn't even feel like one of them COVID episodes. It just felt like a real legitimate episode that's really a part of the plot. And if you skipped the bonus, bonus episodes, you would have missed out on something really good here, to be honest. Because, like I said, I'm not big on episode 18, not big on episode 20, not big on episode 21. That's for sure. But episodes 17, 19, and 22, I think are actually really darn good episodes. So, take that as you will. But Yeah, episode 17, very underrated. Number 2 is then going to be No Other Way, season 11, episode 9. Oh boy. This is an episode that I remember when it dropped, everybody was freaking out. And I still love the episode. It is incredible. You get the final fight with Carver and Leah and the Reapers. Except for Leah, of course, she survives. But you get Gabriel, who's an absolute beast. You get the Call Me Gabriel line, which was amazing. The 3-verse-1 fight with Maggie's group and Negan versus, Carver was absolutely amazing. And you get incredible soundtracks. Maggie just shooting them Reapers like they're nothing. And yeah, this episode basically all around was incredible. You get the death of Alden. You get the introduction to the Commonwealth, them going to Alexandria, which was really cool. And yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite mid-season premieres of anything. This is an incredible episode. But my all-time favorite mid-season premiere The Walking Dead ever did, I don't think it's much of a question. The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 9, No Way Out. This episode is probably one of my all-time favorite episodes of television. The zombie horde in this episode was so incredible. The death of the Anderson family was really left field. Carl getting shot in the eye was insane. The killing zombies was insane. Daryl versus the motorcycle guys, the saviors, was insane. The rocket launcher was great. Glenn almost sacrifices himself until Abraham and Sasha and them come in. They all fight to the death. They all band together. The visuals were incredible. The music was incredible. I mean, this is one of the best Walking Dead episodes of all time. I mean, this was one of the greatest episodes they ever put out. And for that, it definitely has to be the king of mid-season premieres, for sure. Walking Dead never did anything that was this good for a mid-season premiere. Never. This was top of their game quality stuff. I mean, this was incredible. So let me know in the comment section below now, what are your favorite mid-season premieres of The Walking Dead and your least favorite mid-season premieres of The Walking Dead? Let me know in the comment section below. So hope you guys enjoyed this ranking list. We'll be doing more next week, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos of The Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.